Okay, welcome back. And this video, we're going to go over the competition tab. What makes this tab important are two aspects. The first, I went over in the first video, is the existing square footage supply in your 3 mile, 5 mile, whatever it may be. Radius is calculated here, which feeds the existing square footage in your market on the property information tab. So that's important to know in storage. And then also the market rates, the existing market rates in your 3 mile, 5 mile, whatever it may be, and what you could possibly charge for an average market rate, or your new market rate. Say this is a value add deal. And by the way, I always talk about just value add deals, like whether you can bump the rents, bump the occupancy, bump the economic occupancy. So that's what I'm talking about here. As you can see here, the gross potential income per year is 472,432. If you go over to the deal analysis tab, it'll populate right there, right in the gross potential for the market rate, E17. So that's important to know. So your existing at your current is 384,000, and your gross potential could be 472,000. So this is what we call a mismanagement, right? They are not charging the appropriate rates. Um, Again, there's a lot more footwork to be involved. There's a lot more analysis to do, and touring the property, all that stuff. But on initial look, this is what you're looking for in these facilities. You're looking for some mismanagement and some room to grow that NOI, right? Okay, so how did I get there? So I'm going to survey the area. I'm going to list all my facilities in the area. These are, again, all just sample data. I made up the names, obviously, A plus, A1, triple A store, real invented. Distance from the property, it's always important. Their occupancy, how do I get occupancy? They don't advertise this stuff, right? So you're going to have to call them and secret shop them, basically, or you can wait till your feasibility study and let them do it. But I do it pre-hand because feasibility studies aren't cheap. Year they're built. Where can you get that information? Radius Plus. And I will go into that in tips, tricks, and resources. Please make sure you watch that video at the end of the courses. There's a tips, tricks, and resources video, and I go over all the resources that are basically free for you. Radius isn't, but that will give you a lot of this information, especially the total rentable square feet. And also, free resource for you is the OM from the broker. They might have some of this data. They won't have the total rentable square feet. They might have occupancy. They might have some of the pricing of your competitors, which is very important. Okay, and then any notes on these properties. So another thing you can do, and I'll show you in a minute, is Google Maps. And I'll show you how I do that to pull up these prices, to pull up the distances, stuff like that from your own facility or the facility you want to buy. So, what I've noticed, there's always a low price leader in a market, and there's always a high price leader in a market. And I just put these at the bookends, and I just made these numbers up just as examples. And then there's everybody in between. Um, Kind of notice that in most markets, in most places, there's always a high price and a low price, right? You want to be somewhere in the middle, if not towards the top. Why? Because the lower end, you're going to get lower clients, lower end customers that might necessarily can't afford a storage unit, and they go delinquent, and then you have to auction and stuff like that. So be wary of that. And what this tool does then is calculate the average market rate for those units and for each size. And then what it does is calculate the gross potential per year off of those averages. Now, you might not want to charge $80 at first. Maybe it's currently at a 5x10 climate control is at, you're currently charging $60, which is way below, right? So maybe you want to bump it up to 70, right? The lower end, $10, $10 a month, right? Just to test the waters or whatever, and bump all your prices up $10 or whatever it may be. Um, but what this does is give you the average market rate and the gross potential at that average. And that all feeds into the deal analyzer, the market here. And then once I go into the deal analyzer, I'll talk about how I get to this, the custom offer sheet. So um, let's move over to Google Maps. So I pulled up a facility we own currently, Columbia Smart Storage. What I did in the months, every single month, like clockwork, I went here and did nearby, and I said self storage. Simple as that. Zoop, zoop. Hey, there's a bunch of properties. Stormart, that's way down. I don't know why I choose Stormart way down there when there's one right here. And it's like less than a point something miles. Stormart is a really big private company, really big. So they're the big gorillas in our market, but they're right around the corner from us. If I click on their website, pretty nice website. I go standard. We don't have climate control. I go drive up. Small, 5x10, $75, and first month free. That's how I get it. 10 by 10s, 104, and no first month free. There's only one left. And this is another thing you can tell. If all these are one left, one left, one left, you kind of know, okay, they're almost out of all these. So they're pretty full. So I just go down the line. 10 by 25, 165, and first month free. Generally, you'll see first month free on these big guys because they can. We don't have any of these deals, and we still fill up completely. Granted, we're a little bit below their rates. So, and I just keep doing that. I go down the line. Okay, store more. I actually personally know who owns this, and yeah, talk to the guy. It's pretty nice. All right, storage. $59 a month. $65 a month. Rent now. Oh, and easy storage. You can tell how many units there are left right here, unless it's configured the way I have it configured, where it won't show that. So they have two there. Wait list, wait list, wait list, wait list. Look at that. Wait list. And they have a bunch of 10 by 20s. Interesting. Their 10 by 20s won't go, but you can see their price. Real simple, right? Keep going down. Zoom out a little. Oh, Columbia Storage Depot. Go to their website. So this is how I gather information. Lucky for us, this community, or this 3 mile, whatever you want, this property, all these places have their listed prices, right? Out in the rural docks, or out in the boonies, they're not going to have prices. Trust me, they're not even going to have. They're going to have a website with the phone numbers. They call me. So I just keep going through, and you can also punch that up. Say directions. Oh, what do I do? Oh yeah, I go directions, and then from where 800 Hillsdale Road, Columbia, Missouri. It tells me how far. But again, this is not as the crow flies, it's driving directions. So it's 1.8 miles. So, like 1.5 miles or something like that. Yeah, 1 mile away, or because it's a straight line, it's probably not that far away. But it gives you a rough estimate and gives you a good idea of how to go about getting some of this information, especially the pricing, right? And the distance to the property, the name of the facility, radius. Will give you names, but they're probably out of date. The facility size is gonna be pretty spot on radius, and the build year and stuff like that. But radius information can be pretty out of date sometimes, so just be aware of that. I'll go into radius on the other video on the tips, tricks, and tools or resources, excuse me. That's on that one. And I'll show you radius on that one. But other than that, that's basically the competition tab. So I'll see you in the next video.